the only white, according to the story, it looks like she's the only white person. This lone white woman, she better watch her back. That's all I'm saying, because it is Chicago.
On the battlefield, there's a saying America's military men and women live by. Never leave a fallen warrior behind. Ever. Off the battlefield, Wounded Warrior Project operates with the same goal. We leave no warrior behind. Wounded Warrior Project is a non-profit organization created to help our men and women returning home with the scars of war. Whether those scars are physical or mental, we're here to make sure that they heal. And whether it's helping those with post-traumatic stress disorder live a normal life again, or giving much-needed support to injured warriors in veterans' hospitals. Because no one deserves our help more than the men and women who risk their lives to keep us safe. Wounded Warrior Project. We never leave a fallen warrior behind. Ever. Learn more about what we do at woundedwarriorproject.org.
You said in the Rose Garden, the day after the attack, it was an act of terror. It was not a spontaneous demonstration. Is that what you're saying?
Please proceed, Governor.
It is in response to a video, a film. This is in response to a video.
Internet video that we had nothing to do with.
That was spontaneous? Was it a planned attack? Was there a terrorist element to it?
This is a response to a hateful and offensive video.
The video and its influence on the protests that occurred in Cairo and Benghazi. In response to this video, it was the video that caused the unrest in Cairo, that precipitated some of the arrests in Benghazi, and it was sparked by the reaction to this video. The video was a precipitating cause to the unrest, specifically in Libya. Might take advantage of a situation that was brought about initially as a response to the video in question.
Natural protests that arose because of the outrage over the video.
You're totally correct that they spent 2 weeks telling us this was about a tape and that there was this riot outside the Benghazi consulate, which there wasn't.
Natural protests that arose because of the outrage over the video.
I was in chronic pain, and my family struggling to make ends meet, food and gas prices going up, even keeping my job was iffy. Then I learned about a new miracle drug made in Washington, D.C., Spenditol. Spenditol is Washington's answer to all the painful problems Americans face. How to borrow $800 billion for a stimulus that didn't create jobs or fix the economy? Spenditol.
Spenditol is not for everyone. Side effects may include a mountain of government debt piled on our kids, a sudden loss of freedoms, higher prices for everything, leaving our kids a lesser America than we had. Ask your doctor or congressman if your conscience is strong enough for Spenditol.
And it's so popular in Washington, we have to import trillions more of it from China. Spenditol makes you feel better now and pushes off the really bad stuff till later, for them to deal with.
Call the White House and Congress. Tell them, stop spending it all.
Feeling lonely this holiday season? Looking for little human interaction? Do you want to feel contact in certain special places?
Then why not go through security at an airport?
The TSA.
TSA agents are ready and standing by to give you a little something extra to feel thankful about this holiday season.
The TSA.
What are you waiting for? I want to check under your testicles.
Spending time with a TSA agent couldn't be easier. Simply book a flight departing from any American airport. When selected for a full body scanner, say no. You'll be pulled aside by a TSA agent, and that's when the fun begins. And you never know who your agent will be. It could be me. Or me. Or even me.
But it's probably gonna be us. Take off your damn shoe.
The TSA. It's our business to touch yours.
Welcome to the Bureau of Womanhood Conformity. Independent thoughts are considered subversive because all must agree with our leader.
When it comes to women, preventative care should include coverage of contraceptive services such as birth control.
You see, if you don't believe government should pay for your birth control, you're not a real woman. Womanhood denied. If you refuse to accept that pregnancy is a punishment, you're denied as well.
I don't want them punished with a baby.
If you don't believe that abortions should be allowed for any reason, if you don't believe in aborting a child for being the wrong gender, and if you don't believe that stay-at-home mothers aren't real workers, you are not a real conformed woman.
His wife has actually never worked a day in her life. His wife has actually never worked a day in her life.
Finally, for your safety, if you oppose mandatory government health care, you will die.
They will be voting to say that women can die on the floor.
These standards and regulations were formed after our glorious victory in the war on women. Thank you for your cooperation and your conformity.
You're listening to The Rod Eccles Show.
Pow! And we are back. You are listening to me, yours truly, your lovable host, L. Rod, live here on The Rod Eccles Show. We will be back tomorrow again at 7 p.m. 7 to 9 is our regularly scheduled time slot. Folks, we got something here that that's coming from, well, it's coming from the Examiner, Washington Examiner, which is not Examiner. It's the Washington Examiner, which is not exactly a, well, I wouldn't construe the Washington Examiner as being a conservative-leaning publication, but in an editorial, in an opinion piece, editorial, they're bringing some actual real information about taxes. Taxes, folks. I know we heard all about the rich got to pay their fair share. But, you know, has anybody really stopped? I don't know how this gets by. I don't know how this happens. They can talk about it so much. About every chance that they had, talking about the rich needing to pay their fair share. They were comparing apples to oranges. You can't have Warren Buffett, who pays a lower rate than his secretary, which is not apples to apples. It was apples to oranges, and I'm not even going to try to get into it because there are a lot of liberals out there that just refuse to understand. It's not that they don't believe, they just refuse to understand it. But not once has any of them said, well, what's the fair share? No, nobody's answered that question. What is a fair share? Well, you know, you want somebody to pay a fair... Well, everybody has an idea of what fair is. What's a fair share? Well, here's the truth behind that. If top 5% of income earners, wage earners, paid 40% of taxes, what is their fair share? And I know, well, the 99%, the 1% controls 99%. Well, no, that's not true either. 1% controls 99% of the wealth. No, that's not true. And here's what was said in this piece. Although Obama and his fellow Democrats repeatedly call on wealthier Americans to pay their fair share, they never specify what percentage of the nation's tax burden the wealthy would have to bear. As matters stand, the top 1% of American households paid 39% of income taxes in 2009. Now, according to the most recent data that was compiled by the Congressional Budget Office, CBO, and the top 5% of taxpayers paid 64% of the federal income taxes. But income taxes taken in isolation do not tell the whole story. No, they do not. Because lower income Americans do pay payroll taxes, like Social Security, Medicare, that type of thing. But even taking into account all forms of taxation, the top 1% still paid 22% of federal taxes while earning just 13% of the household income. Let me repeat that. The top 1% of income earners in this country paid 22% of the federal tax levy, while earning only 13% of the total household income. So the top 1% earned 13% but paid 22%. The top 5% paid 40% of all federal taxes, despite only earning 26% of all income. So no matter how you slice it, how you slice the numbers, it's hard to understand why anyone would think that the wealthy aren't already shouldering a considerable burden commensurate with their blessings. So let me get this straight. Is what Obama, Pelosi, and Reid and all the social liberals out there, is what they're telling us, and I have brought this up before, or what they telling us in, that even if let's just use round numbers. Let's say there's only $100 out there to be made. We're just going to use that. $100. The top 1% take out $13. The top 5% take out $26. Okay, let's run. $25. $25 goes to 5%. $75 goes to the rest of the 95%. But when you have to ship that $100 back to Washington, the 5% is sending $40. Is that fair? So they're spending or paying more than their share of the economy. Is that fair? What is fair? Oh, they can't. They can't seem to tell us. Well, that they could, but they don't want to, because then everybody would know exactly what they are. But I don't think today that would really matter. I mean, because there are some people that think, yeah, we should tax the rich 100%. Well, what are they going to live on? Well, they're rich. Well, they're only rich because they earn the money. I'm guessing that average everyday Americans just now think that even if you take 100% of a rich person's income, they're still going to be rich because they're rich. I don't know where they get this notion. I don't know. Well, poor education, because they can't add 1 + 1 and come out with 2. 1 + 1 in their book is 3. So evidently, 100% is not 100%. So, the rich are still going to have income even if they're paying 100% of their income in taxes. I know you and we know the difference. We fully understand. We can't figure it what they're thinking, but this is their thinking. Yeah, man, they should be forced to pay 100%. Okay, then what are they going to live on? What do you mean, what are they going to live on? Then they're rich. Well, they're only rich because they earn more money than you. And I don't know, they can't seem to put that together. That 1 and 1, 2 and 2, they can't seem to come up with the correct answer with that one. So this is the problem. We've got a bunch of people running around, and it's becoming more and more people that think that money comes from nothing, and that once you have this label of whatever you are, that is what you're always going to be, no matter what else happens to you. So if you are that lottery winner tomorrow with,